Won't you let the light shine through for you, 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 won't you let the light shine through?
Hi guys, CombinedYoutuber. Welcome to the F1 2013 Crew Mode today, and we'll be doing the Singapore Grand Prix in Marina Bay Street Circuit. It's the beautiful night race in the Singapore Grand Prix. It's the 13th round of the season. Well, 12th for me, but it's the 13th round if you include Monaco. But Felipe Massa in qualifying was on a good pace. Felipe Massa did a 44.8 in qualifying, which is actually pretty good from him. 44.8 is pretty fast for a Pro AI, so here we are, looking at our teammate challenge. Felipe Massa is our rival, by the way. I chose Felipe Massa as my rival for this race and for the rest of the championship. If I beat him, I will take his Ferrari seat for Season 2. So, hopefully Season 2 will be a good season though. I can't wait to beat Felipe Massa. Let's hope I beat him in this race. But there may not be a chance to as I start from P8. But now, here we are, look at the setup. It's a 66% chance of rain, so it could rain near the end of this Grand Prix, because it seems dry at the moment. So yeah, it's a 66% chance of rain, so it could be heavy rain at the end, so let's just hope we don't change to wet tyres. So here we are, out of track for the Singapore Grand Prix. Here we are on the grid in Singapore. Felipe Massa starts from pole position for Ferrari, and there's me in 8th place, and Nico Hülkenberg starts 11th place. He was so close to that top 10 today. So here we are on the grid in Singapore. We start from 8th place. 15 laps ahead of us. 5 lights in Singapore. And away we go for the night race in Singapore. We've had a terrible start off the line. We've been passed by Sergio Perez already and Nico Rosberg coming into turn 1. And we got past them both already into turn 1. We're right behind Hamilton. I think that is Hamilton. Yes, that's Hamilton. We're just touched in there. And now we're side by side with Raikkonen. Now coming down towards turn 4 actually. Now coming down towards the right hand of turn 4. Up the inside of Grosjean and Jenson Button into 4th place. We've gained 4 positions at the start despite having a terrible start. Now Alonso and Vettel are side by side down towards turn 6. So now coming down the inside of Alonso and Vettel into turn 6. We get past Sebastian Vettel and Fernando Alonso coming into 2nd place. We've had a brilliant start. We're already up into 2nd place, and the end of lap 2, moving on to the end of lap 2, where we're right up the back of Massa. So we've gained quite a lot on Felipe Massa. So coming into the turn 19 and 20 chicane, or I think this is 20. So we're going into the chicane, we lost a bit of traction there, so we've lost all the time we gained on Felipe Massa. So that's a shame. But now coming onto the final corner, the double left-handed apex. Now moving on to the middle of lap 3, coming into the what was the Singapore Sling, but it's been cleared for 2013. Now coming on the inside of Massa, just about coming down towards the hairpin at turn 13, looking up the inside of Massa. Can we get him into turn 13? No, he's held it around the outside a little bit there. We almost touched his wheel, but Felipe Massa, our rival, coming down towards turn 14. Can we go up the inside of him? 3/10 purple. We're going up the inside of him, and we get past him into the lead of the Singapore Grand Prix, and Felipe Massa has been beaten on lap 3. But can we beat our rival in this race? But Massa's coming back at me down towards turn 18. The tunnel section, surely not for Massa, but he's hit the wall a little bit there, I think. And Sebastian Vettel's not coming around the outside of Felipe Massa. Can Vettel get the move done on Massa? Now let's check the replay. So Massa did get shoved into the wall, and Massa got hit by Vettel a little bit. And Vettel just ran out wide and hit Fernando Alonso there, so that's a bit of it. And now moving on to the end of lap 4, where our tyres are worn. So moving on to lap 4 and coming into the pit lane for a tyre change. From 2nd place we came into the pits. Actually, no, we came in 1st actually. But we're checking the 2 retirements because there were 20 cars in the race. Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez are the 2 retirements of the Singapore Grand Prix. Bottas was his 2nd retirement of the season after retiring in Australia, And here we go for our pit stop. It's a 3.083 second stop for prime tyres. And we come out in 13th place, I believe. No, 14th. Yeah, 14th place. But we saw Valtteri Bottas, who had his second retirement of the season after retiring in Australia the first race of the season. And Perez's third retirement after retiring in Spain and also in... I'm not sure which other race it was, but I believe it's his third retirement. So we come out in P14 there on prime tyres now. Lap 6, and I'm starting to see a few raindrops. So it is starting to rain now on lap 6. So I don't think we're even halfway through the race and it's already raining. Actually, we are halfway through the race, but I do see some raindrops. Yeah, I actually see massive raindrops now. Coming into the chicane on lap 6. Now coming onto the final corner. Yes, I see I actually see a few raindrops. You probably can't see it, but I can. I can see rain falling down. Now moving on to P5. Now what can we do down towards turn 1? We're moving up to P1. Everyone is in the pit stops. We move back up into our first position. 49.0, our fastest lap of the race. That's actually a pretty slow time, but anyway. Now moving on to lap 7. And then now the beginning of lap 8, where it's raining even harder and the track is getting wetter. So this is crucial. We need to find a good lap to pit for tyres. As you can see, the track is actually getting damp now. So will we pit for intermediate tyres this lap? Look at how wet the track is. The track is literally soaking at the moment. Well, not soaking. That'll be really wet. But look at this. It's raining pretty hard now. And the track is really wet at the moment here in Singapore. This has been one of the first wet Singapore races I've ever experienced, because I've never experienced one in real life and not in any other F1 game. But that shows how wet the track is at the moment on that replay. Now moving on to lap 8, and I decided to pit for inters on the end of lap 8 because the track was getting wetter and I was losing a bit of grip. So I decided to pit for intermediates this lap. The beautiful green compound tyre of the intermediate tyres. Coming into our pit stop. Changing to intermediate tyres. It's a 3.182 second stop. Moving behind our teammate Nico Hulkenberg. What position can we come out in? P11 maybe? Probably P11. Yes, P12 actually. P13. Behind Pastor Maldonado. So here we go, coming out of the pits on intermediate tyres. It's the first wet race of the season. Oh dear, we've just gone into the wall. Oh my god, that was terrible. That was because of the understeer from wet tyres, because apparently the track was not ready for the intermediates at this point. Sure, this stupid Codemasters game. But here we go with Ricciardo coming on our outside. Ricciardo's got us on dry tyres. Ricciardo's got us around the outside. And what can we do to Ricciardo in the next few corners? Surely we can get him, because look at that, now the track is getting much wetter. Now Ricciardo is now coming into turn 9. What can we do to Daniel Ricciardo? Ricciardo's looking up at this side of Grosjean ahead. We've got Sprayer in our camera now, and Ricciardo's been passed, and Grosjean is going very slowly. What has happened to Grosjean? Grosjean's actually lost his wing, so something's happened to Romain Grosjean there. But here we go right behind Maldonado in the Williams. We can go on the inside, and now on the inside of Di Resta as well into turn 13. Paul Di Resta's been passed. We passed 4 cars in about 3 corners here in Singapore, up to 10th place in the points. Now moving on to the end of lap 9 and on to lap 10 of the Singapore Grand Prix. What can we do? And there's people in the pit lane now. P4, P3, P2. There's Felipe Massa on the left. It's going to be really, really close with Massa. What can we do into turn 3? Massa is on the inside line. What can we do to Massa? Massa's the inside line, he's got a better run, and Massa has got ahead of us in the pit lane. That was really close. Coming into turn 4, and on the inside of Massa, into the first position. Could we win our 3rd race in a row from 8th position? Here we go, Massa's coming on the inside of us, coming down towards turn 6. Massa's now coming on the outside, we defend the inside, and wow. Felipe Massa is really fighting for this. Our rival really wants to beat me this race. Now moving on to the middle of lap 10. We skipped a few seconds later. And now Massa's coming to the inside. And now here comes Lewis Hamilton round the outside. Into 2nd place goes Hamilton. Now coming into the chicane. And we've just messed it up a bit there. And Hamilton's now coming to the inside of us. And Massa is going to get Hamilton back into turn 13. Let's check the replay out of that move. Lewis Hamilton trying to come to the inside. He touches my front left, I think that was. And there is Massa going round the outside of Hamilton. Now moving on to lap 11. Massa is all over the back of us now. Hamilton's retaken second place. Hamilton is going to shoot past us. That is absolutely brilliant shot on speed from Hamilton. He shoots past us, but now we're looking back up the inside. We're touching wheels into turn 6. Now it's side by side down towards around the outside into turn 7. Can we go round the outside? We can go around the outside of Hamilton into turn 7, into the hairpin. Hamilton has been passed back from first place. This is getting really good now. Can we win our third race in a row? We won in Belgium, we won in Italy. Can we win our third race in a row from 8th on the grid? Now we got a bit wide into turn 4. Massa is overtaken us on the inside onto lap 12. Vettel has got past Alonso. What can Alonso do? We've lost a lot of time to Massa down the straight, and Vettel has got past us down into turn 5. Now into turn 6. Up the inside of Vettel, but we lost a lot of straight line speed. Massa had brilliant straight line speed. We lost a lot of time to him down that straight, and Felipe Massa is really pushing right now. And this replay will show just how wet it is. Look at the next camera angle. Look at the amount of spray on the track. That's how wet the track is at the moment. It's really, really wet. This is almost full wet tyre weather at the moment. Now here comes Vettel back at us on the outside. Vettel's got a bit of end plate damage. Now he's got to move back on us, Sebastian Vettel. Now coming up the inside into turn 6 again. Touching his wheel a little bit. Vettel has got we got past Vettel back up into second place. I don't think we'll catch Felipe Massa again this race, because he's absolutely speeding off into the distance. Look how wet the track is now on the penultimate lap of the race. Alonso's got past Vettel, so what has happened to Vettel? Wow. Look how wet the track is. It's just absolutely soaked. Vettel's a slid. That's how slippery the track is. Sebastian Vettel has slid on the exit of turn 10, and that's how he lost the position to Alonso. He almost clipped him, and Alonso went round the outside into the chicane. But moving on to the final lap, because nothing else happened, Felipe Massa wins his first race in this career mode. We win. We come round the final corner in Singapore to take second place in a really tense last 2 laps. We take second place here in Singapore. Massa just sped away from the pack after passing me and getting the brilliant straight on speed and pulling away from me. Massa just had great pace, and he won by 21.8 seconds. That's how fast he was. I wasn't going slowly or anything. I wasn't holding up. Well, I was holding up the pack until, let's say, Kimi Räikkönen. But I didn't slow down to let it be 21 seconds. So Felipe Massa wins the Singapore Grand Prix from me. Then Fernando Alonso 3rd, Sebastian Vettel 4th, then Räikkönen, Hamilton, Webber, Hulkenberg, Nico Rosberg 9th, Pastor Maldonado 10th, Jensen Button 11th, Paul di Resta 12th, Grosjean 13th, Ricciardo 14th, Verne 15th, Pick 16th, Adrian Sutil on 17th, Jules Bianchi 18th, Guido van der Garde 19th, Max Chilton, then it's Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez retiring from the Singapore Grand Prix. And Perez has no best lap time, so he's retired on the first lap, clearly. And the Drivers' Championship, Fernando Alonso still keeps the lead, but we're still in 4th place. So Fernando Alonso still leads the Drivers' Championship by 10 points from Lewis Hamilton, in 2nd place. Sebastian Vettel is in 3rd, ahead of me in 4th. Felipe Massa, our championship rival, is in 5th place. Nico Rosberg in 6th. Kimi Räikkönen is in 7th. Roman Grosjean 8th. Mark Webber 9th. Sergio Perez 10th. Jensen Button 11th. Nico Hulkenberg 12th. Valtteri Bottas, Paul di Resta in 14th place with Force India. Pastor Maldonado, then Daniel Ricciardo, Jean-Luc Verne, Adrian Sutil, Jules Bianchi, Charles Pick, Guido van der Garde, and Max Chilton. Constructors' Championship, Ferrari lead by 16 points from Mercedes, and it's Red Bull, Lotus, Sauber, McLaren, Force India, Williams, Toro Rosso, Marussia, and Caterham in last position in the Constructors' Championship. Now, that was a pretty good race, I've got to say. Not the best of races, but it was a pretty good race. But here we are celebrating our 2nd place on top of our car. Felipe Massa celebrating his first win of the career mode and his first win since Brazil 2008. That's glorious for Felipe Massa, but we're celebrating our 2nd place here in Singapore. We congratulate Felipe Massa, and Felipe Massa congratulates me on my 2nd place. And hopefully you enjoyed the Singapore Grand Prix. The next race is Korea in a few weeks' time, hopefully, or a few days' time. See you guys on my next video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And goodbye.